Hi, this is Lynda Gaiao. There is this need for a business to be successful, for it to innovate, to have change, to move forward into the future. There are endless examples of companies that have found a winning formula and have tried to stick to that forever without really considering the fact that the markets are changing, that the world is changing, and where they've disregarded the need for innovation, they ultimately have not survived. The trait that we're speaking about today is trait 26, which is called the salesman or the salesperson. And ultimately, the role of this particular trait is to really be able to convince the business or the tribe or the community that they need to change, that they need to move forward towards innovation, and this is how we're going to do it. This is what we need to do it. And their role is to sell them on this new way forward. Now, because the people, teams, groups, tribes are essentially quite conservative, most people are not open to radical changes or shifting from where they are. There's going to be a lot of rejection that's going to come for this particular trait because there's going to be a lot of no's. So inherently, they are going to be able to withstand this rejection because they understand how crucial it is to convince the team or the company that this innovation path is necessary for the survival of the company. When we are looking at the BG5 design, this particular trait is in the willpower function. And the person with the 26 trait is going to have access to this consistent willpower in order to do the work that's necessary to, in a way, look at the past and manipulate our memories in a way that enables us to go, well, look, when you did it like this is what worked out, and if we keep doing it like this is potentially what's going to happen, and I know you have these fears around this coming into eventuality, so if you don't heed my advice, then ultimately this is going to be what's going to happen to this company. So it's a crucial role to have in any business, to have somebody with this skill set behind them, because ultimately they can convince you within the company, and it can also be about convincing your customers or clients or people out there about what is needed to move forward in the future and to actually survive. Part of what's essential for anyone using this ego is that there is this need for rest and work. There needs to be a balance, and there needs to be some level of control of your own timing and your own schedule whenever you take on this role. So they are really the natural salesperson in the organization and in life in general. And if you have met anybody with a 26, you'll probably see that they can almost have this trickster quality to them, but it's for their convincing powers, to convince you to come along and to do whatever it is that they've schemed up or decided is necessary for this innovation to move forward. If you don't usually have the 26 trait active, and especially if you have an open willpower function, then you're going to need to pay attention to what you're committing your energy to, because you don't have consistent access to this willpower energy. And so if you enter into something incorrectly and you've committed, it's going to be quite detrimental on your physical health to push and push and push to actually meet whatever you've made it a commitment to. What I'd encourage you to pay attention to over this coming week is, where has your company or your team or your tribe become a little bit stagnant or stale? And is it necessary to really consider what ways innovation can actually keep your company surviving and thriving into the future. And but potentially, if you don't usually have access to this 26 traits energy, to really use it at the moment, to almost convince the powers that be of what the innovation strategy is moving forward. On the other side of the 26, we have the 44th trait, which is in the survival instincts. And the survival instinct side of it really is intuitively tuned into the needs of what the group or the company needs. And when the 44 and the 44 and the 26 meet up with one another and form the strength, you have this beautiful harmony of both being able to know what is needed and then being able to convince those that need to be convinced that they need this particular thing to move forward. I would also pay attention to this week of where are you being really conservative, and possibly right now you actually want to open up to hearing what anyone is sharing with you about innovation and moving forward into the future. I'd also pay attention to this dynamic of rest and play, because if you're all work and no rest, sorry, not rest and play, I meant rest and work, because if you're all work and no rest, then there is going to be an unhealthy balance. So what balance is necessary in your life right now? Where has it become this dynamic gone into this unhealthy aspect of being unbalanced, and what can you do right now to realign that and put that back into place? In the comments, I'd love to hear how you see this 26 playing out for you this week and what the dynamics are that show up for you. Do you notice a sudden burst of willpower energy if you don't usually have the willpower defined in your design? Do you feel the sense of being able to commit to and make promises? And then also, do you notice that when you don't have this defined, that the sense of not really knowing what your value is and feeling this need to prove yourself, is that showing up? I'd really be interested to see how the 26 convincing powers, do you suddenly find yourself being able to convince just about anybody, including perhaps, this is a bit of a joke of being able to convince the Eskimos that they need to buy ice when they're surrounded by ice. And just playing with the different dynamics and see how it shows up for you, and just comment in below and let me know what you see. Hit the subscribe button if you would like to receive regular updates of the various traits that become active. I release these posts, these videos, whenever a new trait becomes active, so you can really be tuned into the energy that's currently active and start to really understand those dynamics, and perhaps even learn a little bit more about your design or the design of someone that's important in your life, and get more into the flow of living as your unique self in this life. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time I post one. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.